We all tend to look
Call
alike.
the Honourable Tau Henare.
It's something that we've been fighting against for a long, long time. But we'll get there. Mr. Speaker. Oh, well, if we want to go down that track, Mr. Speaker, I wanted to start my my kōrero tonight, Mr. Speaker, with this quote. Comes from March 2000. This bill marks a new era in industrial relations in New Zealand, an era that will be distinguished by a commitment to the fundamental principle that underlines all parts of this legislation, namely that it is better to work together cooperatively for the common good in the workplace than to work in opposition to each other. Mr. Speaker, that quote is from the then Minister of Labour, the Honourable Margaret Wilson, in the Employment Relation Bill's first reading on the 16th of March 2000. Mr. Speaker, nowhere in that bill was there any mention at all of a redundancy clause inserted in that piece of legislation. And that was 2000. Sir, in 2009, there was an anniversary, and it was the 9th anniversary of the Labour Party taking office. And between 2000 and 2009, not one of the Labour Party's members, including the ministers and including the backbenchers, ever raised the issue. And outside of this House, to coin a phrase, outside of this House, that would have been called hypocrisy, in the words of Trevor Mallard. Those listening on the outside, sir, would have called it hypocrisy. Hypocrisy, sir. But, sir, the funny thing about the Fabians, there's always a funny thing about the Fabians and the Fabian society, sir. They never do anything when they're in power. But when they're in opposition, they love to tell the government that they should do this. Sir, the Public Advisory Group that was established back then. Well, sir, when I was a union member, we used to go and fight for this sort of thing. We didn't go and cap in hand and ask the government to do it. We didn't even go cap in hand to the Labour Party and ask them to do it. What we used to do was go and fight for it. Sir, not like the pussies that they got today, sir, in the Labour Party, because they think the easiest way is to just front up to the government and say, please, sir, no, sir, can I have 3 bags full, sir? That's their modus operandi. It's not about going to the workers and saying, listen, what we need to do is organise. We need to go and talk, if we may, to the employer, and let's fight for something that we really believe in, sir. Mr. Speaker, what we see in the House tonight is nothing more than Darian Fenton and her mates in the Service Workers Union grandstanding, because they know full well that they cannot deliver on this. And somehow, some way, they can't deliver, but it makes them feel good. Like the do-gooders that the Fabian society are, sir. A pack of pussy do-gooders, sir. And quite frankly, I'm over the moon. I'm ecstatic that this government is not going to buy into any of that Fabian rubbish, sir.
Call John Boscawen.